inside the booth.
God, every October.
You know, it's just me. No one else calls you. You should have known it was me.
Yes. Oh, the party. Oh, yes, the Halloween party.
We'll be there.
Yes, absolutely.
Not wearing a costume.
He's bringing a costume. Yes.
Wearing a costume.
The Witch's Tale. The fascination of eerie, weird, blood-chilling tales told by Old Nancy, Witch of Salem, and Satan, her wise black cat. They're waiting for you now.
122-year-old I be today. Yes, sir, 122-year-old. Well, Satan, tell the folks to douse all the lights and we'll be right down to business. Nice and dark and gloomy now. That's the way we likes it when we tells our bedtime stories. Now drop onto the fire and gaze into the embers. Gaze into 'em deep, and soon you will see a land of jungle. For we're going into Mexico, to a place called Yucatan. There the grass and vines are so thick and tall that whole cities are buried among them. The only Indians used to live there long before the white man came. Soon we'll hear 3 white men talking in them jungles. And so begins our yarn about the boa goddess. The boa goddess! Mr. Morgan, we are getting close.
We ought to be according to the picture that Marianne gave me. Would you hold up that torch there, Dutch?
Sure. I don't see no flat stone yet that you said we gotta find.
If that girl had only come along to show us, we wouldn't have to fool around like this.
You've lived among these Indians long enough to know their women cannot come on sacred ground.
She's the high priestess' daughter. You'd think she'd take a chance on the taboo, especially loving me the way that she does.
She takes great chance helping us find what we seek and to escape into the jungle. They will know it was by her aid, and her life will be...
What of it? She's only a squaw, Frenchie. Still, Marianne is a cute little trick at that.
You got such a sense of humor, Morgan. Every time you call that Indian girl Marianne, I get a good laugh. Shut up, you fool. If they find us, do you know what will happen?
Keep your shirt on, Frenchie. It's kind of comical, Dutch, but I call all of my girls Marianne. Not being able to speak the one's lingo, I really don't know her real moniker anyway.
Shh, quiet. Be careful.
Oh, Frenchie, we're safe enough. Every man in the village is out in that jungle for the ceremony that they're holding right now.
Yes, the ceremony controls. For out there tonight they will find and let a boa constrictor crush a man to death.
Let's listen. What's that sound, Dutch?
3 beats on a drum. Well, that means they could be ready to kill Doc Furrow now.
Yes, God, if my folks back in Jersey knew that their darling boy was living among a bunch of Yucatan Indians who made sacrifices to snake gods, they'd turn over in their graves.
After 3 months living among them, it was difficult for me to realize we found a lost tribe of Aztecs, living like their fathers did 600 years ago. It was lucky they found us when they did. Another day lost in that bush and we would have been dead. That is why I do not like this thing you do tonight. These people saved our lives. They took us in, and now you plan to rob them.
Well, I hope Frenchie and all of Devil's Island ain't developing a sense of gratitude all of a sudden.
I may have served time with Devil's Island, Morgan, but I, unlike you, wasn't there for murder.
You know that's because you never had the nerve to kill a man, you yellow skunk.
Why, you can't!
You can't.
Stop, Morgan, Frenchie, we can't quarrel.
You're right, Dutch, you're right. Once we get what's beneath those 3 flat stones, it will take all 3 of us to fight our way back to civilization through the bush. All right, forget it, Frenchie.
You're sure we will find the pearls in that temple?
I've already shown you the little one that Marianne gave me, and she told me in her sign language there are big ones where we're going. I wonder, Dutch, did you hear what they said? What's that?
Stop that! Look, Morgan, Frenchie, here are 3 flat stones.
This is the place, we found it. Now, don't try to lift them by yourself. There's a trick to it. Marianne showed me in her picture writing. You have to push the stone in the middle and... There, that's it, I got it. Would you look at that?
A passage is opened.
The temple must be underneath. Come on, let's go down these stairs.
I do not like this place.
What? What's the matter,
I do
Frenchie?
not know, it's just a feeling I have. I feel something too.
Both of you is yellow, that's it. Give me the torch, I'm gonna go down the stairs myself.
You can't call me yellow.
I already did. Prove if you're not. Now, come on.
It was dark down there. Morgan, hold up that torch.
We don't need it in a minute. According to Marianne, this passage takes a sudden bend into the temple proper, and there's a fire always burning within. Yes, look, it's getting lighter. There it is.
It is bright. The temple. Oh my God. We must flee for our lives. Quick, quick.
Frenchie, just wait. Wait, you poor dumb idiot. It's only a statue.
A statue?
Yes. Would have had me going for a minute, too. It looks so natural. A real, honest-to-God snake coiled up to strike.
It's an idol. An image of the boa goddess.
Yes, that must be it.
Light up that torch, Morgan. The stone snake has a woman's face.
You see, Marianne told me the truth. The idol's eyes are emeralds.
Mon Dieu! Where's the snake's body joins a woman's face? Hey, wait. There's a necklace there.
Yes, and they're made of more emeralds.
We shall be rich.
Yes.
Rich.
Millionaires, I told you, Frenchie. Let's climb up there and get all those jewels. Wait, what is it? What's that sound?
What's wrong? What do you hear?
There's nowhere to drum in here, but I'm hearing drums. This is just a big old bare room, isn't it?
My piece of change. It is a warning. We are in a sacred place. We must not defile the holy image.
Just hand me your knife there, Dutch.
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna cut the necklace off and I'm gonna pry loose the emeralds from the eyes.
No.
That's what we came here for, Frenchie, you fool. All right, give me that, Dutch. Here we go.
Wait. The drum again. Please, Morgan. Please go away. A curse will fall on you if you take the stones. Morgan, take something from the Indian place.
I'll leave as soon as I've got all these stones, you hear me?
No.
Ah, there. It's all right. Nothing's happened and I've gotten them. Look, from those eyes are as big as eggs. Ha ha! Look at this, I'm rich, I tell you, I'm rich!
Let's get out of this place.
All right, I've got all I came for. And now, I'm a millionaire. A millionaire!
Please, let's get away.
What's that?
Listen. Seems to come from inside the snake itself.
I struck 3 times.
Yes, 3 times like we heard it in the bush outside. It means the boa goddess will take soon a human sacrifice.
No, you whine like a pair of old women, Dutch. Frenchie, we got away from the Indians, okay? Didn't we? With another day's chopping, we'll be safe out of this jungle and back to civilization. Forget about a curse, something following us. Fair.
We are not out of the jungle yet. There is something following us, Morgan. I've seen it all about us in the bush. It is something I know. It's death.
Ah, your grandmother.
I am like Frenchie. I did not like the drum beats when we left the temple.
Are you guys dumb enough to think that a heathen statue of some big snake with a woman's face can really do us any harm?
It is not a statue I fear, but the things it stands for. People's thoughts and their beliefs. Listen, Morgan, all gods are the same with the different names, but for how many centuries, we don't know. An intelligent race has worshipped and feared that great snake we have insulted.
That's hooey.
3 times that drum beat like before the boa goddess takes the sacrifice.
Since that's what's troubling you fellas most, let's just figure out where that drum is coming from. Those Indians probably finished Marianne off by now. It's too bad. She was a cute little trick, even if she was only a squaw. I wondered one easy way for you guys to clear yourselves if you think there's a curse on these emeralds. You just don't have to take your share. How about that?
Ah, no you don't, Morgan. Who would like to cheat us out of them?
I thought you would bring them to me in time. It's too hot to do any more traveling tonight, and I got them myself without your help. I'm gonna grab a few winks. It's your turn to scare up some grub, Frenchie.
All right. Give me a pistol.
Nix. I've only got 2 bullets left, see? You can bring down a couple of birds with your machete.
You're not saving those 2 bullets for something in particular, huh?
Why, whatever do you mean?
Once we are out of this jungle, you will no longer need Dutch and me to help you.
Oh, so you think I would use these bullets on...
I will not argue that point. It does not matter anyway. I go and forage.
That French stir-bug's as crazy as a loon, ain't he, Dutch?
Maybe. Why are you saying saving those 2 bullets, Morgan?
Hey, you don't think I'm planning anything against pals like you and Frenchie, do ya? Ha ha, forget it. There are emeralds enough for the 3 of us. I'm rich. Inside a month, Dutch, I'm gonna be sitting inside the swellest hotel in New York. I'm gonna become a gentleman and join a highfalutin club and go in for society and live like a king. Yeah, truly live. But that Frenchman gives me a pain, talking about death following us through the jungle, all on account of a couple of drum beats that he heard in that heathen temple in there.
Morgan, the drum. It's here.
No, it can't be. You got me hearing things, that's all.
Every time it beats.
No, it don't mean nothing, Dutch. Do you hear me? It don't mean nothing.
Ah, mon Dieu! Frenchie!
Oh, something's got him. I think it's a boa constrictor.
Get out of those coils, crushing out his life. There is a curse and it's striking now.
No, Dutch, I won't believe it. The jungle's just full of snakes, that's all. He just happened to cross that boa constrictor's path. Let's run, Dutch. Come on, let's run before it comes after us.
Are you going to try to save him? You have a pistol, Morgan.
I'm saving my 2 bullets, all right? You have to run, you fool, and we can split his share between the 2 of us.
We split his share of death. He's just the first of us to go.
You know I don't believe in that sort of thing.
Look back. The snake has turned its head.
Say, that snake has got the face of a woman.
And the face of a boa goddess.
You've got to run. Run, Dutch, run. Sure, young fella. I'm not stuck up like ordinary millionaires, no. I'll be glad to give the newspaper a true story of how me and Dutch escaped and got back here to New York City.
I'm certainly much obligated, Mr. Morgan. You realize how interested the public is with the man who owns the largest emerald on Earth.
Yeah, but I don't want your paper printing no lies about me, you see? Don't you be like those other fellas who wrote that I'm a nervous old man because they saw me pacing up and down the room like I'm doing right now. Don't you say that I'm afeard of anything. I can't be looking over my shoulder. Jumping at noises. Habits, you see. They're just habits of mine. That's it. And don't you dare write that there's a curse on my emeralds. There ain't no curse.
Of course not, Mr. Morgan. That sensational stuff that you object to was all printed when a flash came in from Associated Press. Seems 2 madmen had stumbled into a little settlement in Yucatan with a pocket full of emerald, and story of a 3rd man who had been crushed to death by a boa constrictor with a woman's face. We couldn't pass up a yarn like that even if we knew it was ridiculous.
Yes, it is. It's simply ridiculous, yes. 2 men just chop their way out of the jungle? No, they're just apt to say anything, you see? You're right about that stuff. It's all a lie. Don't forget to print how I tried to save my partner Frenchie when a big snake with a woman's face got to him. Don't say that the snake had the woman's face, of course, because it didn't. No, that was merely imagination, you know. There ain't no curse on my emeralds, no, sir. No curse that can reach beyond that jungle, anyway.
What was that, Mr. Morgan?
Oh, nothing at all. I was just, talking to myself. The jungle will make you do things like that, young fella. No, it's great to be back in the city again. No snake with a woman's face can follow me to a big town like New York.
You've spoken of your friends Frenchie and Dutch. Will you give me their proper names, Mr. Morgan?
Well, Frenchie's dead. If I could only forget how he died. Excuse me. The name that I knew Frenchie as was Jean Renault. And Dutch's real moniker is Adolf Appleman.
Adolf Appleman?
Yes, he beat me to it in Chicago once we hit the USA, and that's where he is now. He ain't nice to you reporter guys like I am, and you don't like his name in the papers, but you can print it, as long as you don't believe he's cursed neither.
Mr. Morgan, haven't you seen this morning's paper?
No, not yet. I just arose.
What a story this'll make. No one dreamed he was your partner.
Say, what's the matter with you? What are you doing with this telephone?
Hello? Get me World 212195. Look at that front page, Mr. Morgan. Read those headlines. Last night in a Chicago hotel room, Adolf Appleman was crushed to death. Every bone in his body broken. Hello? Get me the city editor.
The drum beats I heard last night, they weren't in my dream, were they?
City desk, you there? Get this whopper of a story. The guy crushed to death in Chicago last night was the partner of the bird.
I can't believe this. I can't believe I'm next. I must be. I'm next. Look here, Mr. Morgan. You may have found $1 million worth of emeralds in South America, but that gives you no right to come here to Chicago and tell the district attorney's office how to run its business, you see. I gotta know what killed Dutch Appleman. Why did his body have to be cremated before I got here to see it, huh? Well, for one reason, his wife ordered it right after the inquest. What do you mean, his wife? You've already been told that Mr. Appleman was married to a Miss Smith a few hours before his death. Another reason was the body was too horribly crushed to serve any clues to the method of murder. Crushed just like poor Frenchie in the jungle. But you say it wasn't a snake that did it. Do you swear it? It couldn't have been a snake, could it? My dear Mr. Morgan, despite the wild newspaper theories, boa constrictors do not crawl promiscuously through Chicago, and if they did, there could have been no way for such a monster to enter or leave Mr. Appleman's room. No way for it to come here from the jungle either. Where was Dutch's new wife when all this happened, anyway? Well, out of the room at the time, she says, but no woman on earth could have crushed your partner the way we found him, if that's what you're driving at. I was only wondering if she had seen anything, if only I could know the way that he died. Yes, come in, why don't you?
Excuse Mrs. Appleman to see you.
Well, ask her to come in now. Mr. Morgan, you can talk to the wife of the deceased yourself, if you like.
How do you do?
Good morning, Mrs. Appleman. I'm sure you're glad to meet your poor husband's former partner here, Mr. Morgan.
We have met.
Why, that's funny. I do feel like I've seen you before, someplace.
I meant Dutch had spoken of you.
Right, of course I see, but your face, it's somehow familiar to me. What was your name before you married Mr. Appleman?
My first name was Marianne.
Marianne?
Poor Dutch told me it was the name you preferred for women.
To think, I finally fall for a skirt whose real name is Marianne.
How startled you were when I first told you that was my name.
Oh yeah, it hit me like a voice from the dead. Not that the squaw matters, you understand, but you knew even before I spilled the beans about how we got the emeralds and our whole story in the jungle.
Yes, I knew. Dutch had told me everything.
Well, I don't know what I'd have done without you since Dutch was killed. A man needs someone around so he won't be all alone to think things over. After you and I are married tomorrow, it'll be better still. Only I wish you haven't had made me wait a whole year in the span of a few moments. Yeah, a year. And nothing has happened to me. I always knew that curse was just bunk.
You have no fear at all anymore.
Me? No, I was never afraid of anything. My hair turning white and losing weight like I have, it's just my rundown condition, the doctor says. Yet if I only knew how Dutch was killed last year, the explanation of those drum beats that I heard, I can't get out of my mind the way I saw Frenchie go in the jungle.
You have explained it all perfectly naturally to me 100 times. You have no real faith in heathen gods, you know.
Of course not, no. It was just my imagination. That boa constrictor that I saw in the jungle did not have a human face. It couldn't have. It's an awful way to die the way Frenchie did. Oh, Marianne, did you ever see a man killed by a boa, Wrapped itself around you, coil, doubling and tripling its own strength, and its eyes looking into yours, fascinating you until you're dumb and helpless. Slowly those coils tightened around Frenchie until his bones cracked like pipes and the flesh became like putty. But he only screamed once. Just once. And I can't die like that, you understand? I won't die like that. I'm rich now. I've become a gentleman. I'm highfalutin and I'm crazy about you, Marianne. I want to live. Oh, you don't believe in curses, do you, Marianne? You don't believe a crawling thing from the jungle could reach me even here, do you?
If I believed in the curse, I would believe neither distance nor civilization would have power to stay its vengeance.
What? You don't believe in it, do you? Tell me you don't believe. Tell me you think it's only bunk, Marianne.
Yes, I say it like you. Isn't it fortunate we can tell ourselves such things? It is so terrible to be afraid. For I of God who wished to punish hard for a long time before I struck, I would make my victim fear.
Well, don't talk like that, Marianne. Sometimes you make me afraid because I don't know what you mean. It'll be all right when we're married tomorrow. Then I'll have you talk all the time and I'll learn how to understand you.
You haven't forgotten for my wedding present. I would have the great emerald you took from the Aztec temple.
Yeah, I promised, yes. The one the Dutch gave you will have the two greatest emeralds in the world in your hands. They were the eyes of the boa goddess, you know.
It will be nice to have them.
Oh, there'll be no match for your own eyes, Marianne, for they're as green as emerald. Your eyes fascinate me. So green, as deep as an emerald. Like the eyes of the boa goddess. You're my wife now, so kiss me.
Wait.
Well, you mustn't keep your husband waiting. I've waited a year for you, Marianne.
You shall wait a short time longer.
Well, no other woman has put me off like you have. And I'm crazy about you, just nutty about your eyes. They fascinate me. Green like emeralds. Why, did you bring your emeralds? The eyes of the boa goddess for the wedding present?
I shall wear them for you now. For you alone.
You're gonna put them on? Well, that's swell. God, I'm like a kid with you. When I finally fell, I fell so hard. I won't be afraid no more now. You will always be with me. You won't leave me on our wedding night like you left Dutch a year ago.
I will not leave you. I did not leave him.
Well, if you hadn't have left him, you wouldn't have known what killed him.
I do not know what killed him.
You do not know what killed him? Then why ain't you ever told me? Say, what are you turning this way for anyway? Why are you standing there with your back to me this whole time? What are you doing over there, Marianne? You seem to be growing. You're growing taller and thinner somehow? What are you doing? Turn around so I can see you. Let me look into your eyes.
Look.
The emeralds. The emeralds are your eyes.
Yes.
You're...
The boa goddess.
The drums. The drums. The drums mean...
I claim my final sacrifice.
Oh, I can't move. I can only stare into your eyes. Your body lengthening, changing into a monster snake.
Soon, I will coil around you, fold over fold.
No.
You will only gaze into my eyes and whimper. Only when my coils tighten will you scream just once. Then will I give you your promised kiss. The kiss of death for a Marianne who was only a squaw. I begin to coil.
It's so cold. Cold. I can't die like this.
Morgan, for defiling the people's faith, I bind your feet. Morgan, for betraying our people's hospitality, I bind your arms. Morgan, for destroying a woman's love, I bind your heart. For this, you have been left last of the three. Today, as you yourself mortal fear you expire to happiness and peace. Today, I coil your worthless soul and
And that's the story about the boa goddess, queen of all the snakes. Well, Satan, I have business to attend to now, don't we? Important business. Midnight Satan.
I want to thank you for joining us tonight and every night here on the BBTBC. Happy Halloween. And as always, that's a good nightmare from me.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
I guess that's it.